recognize the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan.
I wanted to keep listening. I grew up under the old joke, and in my mom and dad's household there were two kinds of music, country and Western, right? That's it is good to be. I apologize, Mr. Chairman, for not being here earlier to do the opening statement. I was actually doing 2 talk radio shows, and so was unable to get here, but I'll enter the statement now. This issue has been before Congress for the past 100 years. It's also been in an impasse for the past 100 years. And I want to thank Chairman Issa for trying to tackle it. We must get this right. As everyone knows, music is interwoven into American history and culture. It's one of our most important cultural exports. Radio is obviously an extremely important institution in America. It's how millions of people get news and entertainment. Back in Ohio, we have some great broadcasters. This committee is entrusted with the jurisdiction over copyright matters, which means that it is up to us to balance the interests and the rights of creators and distributors. Historically, we have only been able to tackle complicated issues like this when everyone is willing to come to the table and find a path forward. In this case, it means balancing the interest of performers to be compensated and accounting for the reliance interest of the broadcast community for the value that they provide. Despite music consumption increasingly moving away from broadcast radio to digital streaming, the issue before us today is still one worthy of our attention. Last Congress, Chairman Nadler organized bipartisan negotiations to try to sort this thing out. Unfortunately, those negotiations stalled, and we never quite got to a resolution. Despite that, we still believe there's a deal to be struck that is fair to all sides and, most importantly, fair to taxpayers and consumers. We've heard from musicians across the spectrum about the importance of being fairly compensated, and we couldn't be more grateful to have legendary country star Randy Travis with us today and his wife to share their perspective. We also have with us Eddie Harrell Jr. from the great state of Ohio to share how broadcasters on the ground are thinking about these issues. Historically, this committee moves copyright legislation on a consensus basis. These issues are not and should not be partisan. So I want to thank again all our witnesses for being here today. I want to thank our chairman for putting this together and all the work he's done on this issue to try to get to a solution. And I look forward to the remaining discussion and debate and questions that come. With that, I would yield back to the chairman. Again, thank you for the time.
Well, I thank the chairman, and since the chairman yielded back to me, I'll just say that, if we want to make a deal here today, you're hearing numbers that you pay that much for your coffee service in a year. So think about that as we go through this, because it really is something where you heard a little piece of that wonderful